So just walked into PRI and I found Brian and I found Rooster back there. And hey, I need to ask Rooster. What's he coming? You keep walking. Too many people. Let's hop. How you doing, bud? Hey, Rooster.
Hey, what's up?
What's up with the LSX motor? Have we tuned it better? Have we changed anything? You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. We lowered the cubic inches on it to make it legal, and then we built another one. It's a 408 cubic inch kind of a jar.
Okay.
It's all aluminum.
Okay.
It's got all pro cylinder heads on it.
Did Tim Dye know that?
Yeah.
I thought I heard about that.
It's pretty rowdy.
So you guys do powder coating now?
Yeah, we powder coat that.
I had no idea you guys powder. That's why the trucks are so nice. Sometimes, like, you really have to beat it into my head for me to understand. But just watching the PRI show, ran into people already. My little dude here, he's big fan of the channel, big time racer, gonna be a big time racer, and there's always too much going on here.
Take it in, Todd. Take it in.
They told me I had to smash the gas harder to make it work because the traction control wasn't working because I pedaled the car too much. But the hard thing for me to do is I'm an old dog, okay? So I can't change the way I drive for the traction control, and I just couldn't, what we like to say, stomp and steer, you know, like. PRI is all about new products. And
yep. And it's something retail. The 28 is $975, and then the other two are $90.
Dude, he would have some of the nicest stuff. I should have cut my fingernails, but. So I love this body. Old school, Western speed, pavement, body. But tell me a little bit about yourself and what you got going on here.
All right, Kyle Steffens, Silver Crown racer, mod racer, midget racer. I race everything. But what we do is actually we're in the performance industry as far as shipping goes. P Plus Global is our company. We do shipping for racers all around the world. Within the States, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. We ship chassis, motors, parts, England, everywhere. You know, if somebody needs t-shirts shipped overseas, we can help you with that. I was just talking to Thomas about that.
That's me. That's why I thought I needed to bring the camera along. And it's tough when you're at PRI. It's so tough to turn the camera on and try to film anything, you know, because everybody's just like watching you, and it's hard. It's hard to talk to the camera in front of a lot of people. But he watches TmezTv, so I thought I would get Kyle on here and show what he does, because I really do need to ship shirts to New Zealand and Australia. But it's a very fine line, and I just got a visa figured out so that when I go next time, I'm not doing it on a holiday.
Yeah, for sure. Now I'll be glad to help you out, man. Love to help you.
Sweet. So that's everything they need to know right there?
Absolutely. Call that number right there. Shoot us an email, and we can take care of you.
Sweet.
Thanks, dude.
So you went to the Dome. How was the Dome?
The Dome was pretty sick. It was all right. It's like Chili Bowl. Not as cool as Chili Bowl. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I love Cody Summer and Emma that put on the show. It was fun.
The fact that there was 30,000 people there, like, how cool was that?
It's real cool. Like, when you walk out, you look up in the top bowl and see people are up there, you realize that dirt racing's on a whole different level.
That's what I honestly, like,
You've won the Dome, haven't you?
I did get a chance to win the Dome when they ran the midgets. And unfortunately, like, we had the midgets there, but we run the California swing with USAC is like grueling. It's 2 weeks, and we all have to drive 3 days to get there and to get home. And so we were scheduled to go, like us, Bo, Keith Coons, and none of us showed up.
Right.
And they were like, oh, you don't want to come?
Right. If Cody's watching this, man, we need to get midgets back in the Dome.
Oh,
for sure.
Midgets would be awesome. Sprint cars would be amazing, but I think they'd fly out of the park.
Yeah.
You know,
we already had 3 modifieds fly out of the park.
The best thing is there wasn't one complaint in America about the fence. And when we went to Adelaide to run the Adelaide 500 race with the sprint cars in the city, they complained about the fence, and their fence was amazing. Not one car would have went out of that Adelaide track fence, but everybody was worried about it because all the people want safe things for the racers, and I appreciate that. But we're too stupid to even care about safety. Right?
We are. Yeah, we're just trying to put on a show.
That's right.
That's right.
It's your YouTube channel?
Todd Hobson Racing.
Todd Hobson Racing. He also races non-wing, and he's from Australia. Yeah, I don't actually. I don't. So, Pat Sullivan, how long have you been announcing?
35 years, maybe more than that.
35 years.
Yeah.
What is your favorite track to announce at because of your point of view?
Well, I've had 32 years at Bloomington, and I love Winchester. Those are two of my favorites.
I need to go watch Winchester. I've actually never seen a race there personally.
I got to do the Speedway, but I'm going to tell you, I still, as I just said, the Pikes Peak race where I first saw this guy race is literally one of the greatest midget races I've ever seen.
That was an amazing race.
It really was, buddy.
It really was. I was watching the boys go to town. Newman and Leffler put on a show. I ended up running third. Hey, thank you.
You bet, buddy. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I got a nice little interview with my good friends. Look, you get an interview too. Look,
What's up, bro?
He's really a race car driver. You got a YouTube channel as well, don't you?
That's right, man. Check it out. Kyle Steffens, just check it out. I appreciate it, T-Mez.
Yeah. You're over here in a really hot section of the PRI, right? Because fireproof liquid in a bottle. That's amazing. So I could spray it on the carpet right here and it wouldn't catch on fire.
Yes, sir. Correct.
That's awesome.
We don't want to replace the fire suit or the Nomex. We just want a layer approach to save our drivers.
So it ultimately just helps keep the fire off of the suit, right?
Correct. Yes.
Awesome.
That I treated a while back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's on my hand. That's 2,000 degrees. We can do this all day.
Sit back.
No shit. Well, I had to get him in the picture.
You see that all day? Do it all day. I don't need
That's impressive.
The thing ain't lit.
That's impressive.
I ain't doing it with non-treated Nomex. That's Nomex, by the way. Okay, straight out of Henchman.
Straight out of Henchman.
Straight out of Henchman. Love Miss Nancy, and she understands what we're doing. So, there you go. This is it right here. Nothing happens. It's still malleable. That's the difference right here. In us, in anything else in the world, this is the only one that existed on the entire planet.
No kidding.
To be able to stop the heat and the fire.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that stop fire. There's some things that stop heat, but there's no one product that does both.
Yeah.
We're adding minutes of capable time for you to get out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Feel it. It's still cold.
Oh wow. It is actually cold. That is. I assumed it was going to be hot. That
it's
is
still malleable.
So
it's still malleable. It doesn't. If you look at this untreated, it turns into a crispy critter and it rolls up on the edges. But it does its time period. The SFI patch, it does the time period. So those are seconds. I can give you minutes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's the difference. I want to enhance Nomex to the next level, just like Dale Earnhardt made the Hans Vice come into existence.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You have to keep moving the needle. We're not here to replace anything, to make anything. I want to make it better than it is by itself. Same thing with every other safety product. You just want to keep getting better.
Did you design this stuff?
Me and this guy right here, that's the co-creator right there. That's Corey Cole. He's the co-creator.
Interesting.
But yes, we did. Because here's the deal. You're my friend, right? I've been knowing you 15, 20 years. Gloves and have more dexterity on everything you're doing.
Check that out. It's got an FK shock on. So Steve Watt, this is Steve's flat track bike, I believe. My first real race car was a Waxam built by Steve Watt Micro. How much is a tire?
$2.99 for a right rear and $2.89 for a left rear.
Well, that's good.
And then if you're a subscriber, you get 10% off.
Nice.
So I'm recognizing kind of their whole brand, right? Recognition.
That is pretty slick. Hey, Don was in love with the Ram.
Say your name anymore. Say TmezTv.
Nice to meet you.
One of everybody's favorite sprint cars. All right, so I went to Australia, and Brett had some Red Devil brakes on it, but there was a 4-piston left front, a 4-piston right rear, and a 4-piston inboard, and the thing had the most amazing brakes. And I didn't even have to push on it hard. That was what was amazing about it, okay? I'm a little guy, and if you only have, you know, a 2-piston left front and the inboard, you really have to stand on the brakes to make them work. So I talked Don into buying me a right rear caliper. I went to Australia, and the guy had a 4-piston right rear brake, and then he also put that brake on the left front, and it had the inboard, and it was very, you know, the first thing I said, I got in the car, I pushed on the brake, and it just had a lot of movement, and I could almost get it to the floor. Well, so he's like, yeah, well, you're never going to get it to the floor because it's going to have so much brake, it's going to stop. And I'm used to just having this caliper here with a 4-piston rear. It isn't a lot of brakes after I ran that. So we came back. I talked to Don. This is Dave. How's it going, Dave?
Hey, bud.
And Don ordered, he wanted to keep it all Wilwoods because that's what he had. And the other guy had Red Devils or whatever. But so he ordered a right rear brake, 4-piston, and then it came with a left front caliper with a floating on a floater. Is that this?
Be this same setup.
Yep.
Right. That's an actual left front setup.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Right. Hey, bud. And the rear setup is right over there with the spine. It's identical except for the plate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So this is your left front, right rear brake kit.
Yes.
And I mean, I see this is a smaller caliper.
So ultimately, what this is, what you're looking at is this is a left front kit. Okay.
Yes.
There's just two options for this. It's these two calipers. So you can either run this one here, right? The 320.
Hey, Don.
Or this is.
If you ordered this one, I'm going to need you to send that back. I'm going to need you to order this one on the left front and the right rear.
Where'd you get it from?
Wilwood. I think he ordered it from Kreitz.
Well, then he probably would have got this one, which is the most widely used one now. This little one. This is what Donnie runs.
Yeah.
Kreitz.
Yes.
TSR.
Okay, and the reason, so he talked to Kreitz and he said, I want this thing to brake nice and straight. T-Mez touches the brakes and it just like turns left, right? So we're, you know, that would get rid of some of the left front, right?
Absolutely.
And then give me rear so that the thing brakes in nice and straight, which is what I want.
But the beauty of this is, right, if you thought you wanted more, everything's the same. It's just a bracket in the caliper. Whose car?
Don, it's my best friend, a 00 car.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I've been running it for a while. And it's really the only thing I have ultimate say on. So this is interesting. This is a 4-piston caliper, left front. This is the standard 2-piston that everybody runs. And this is their new 1-piston. And you know, he was just talking about, ultimately on the wing car, you want the left front brake to be right. And so this allows you to have options, okay? Not only options, but you can have options with steel pads. If you run a steel rotor, you can have 3 different gripnesses of pads to really get the left front to work the way you want to. What do you mean move the pedal?
Well, nobody touches stuff. You can break it. Turn it upside down.
Oh.
Put it on its side. We did that to show people that like a 6-to-1 is notoriously like a raise rail ratio. The 8-to-1, that used to be what every J&J was, but Jack's finally changed it.
That's interesting.
7-to-1 is the perfect ratio for a sprint car.
Is it?
7-to-1. Yep, the center.
Center is... Yeah, thank you. I liked it the first way, I think.
Which one?
Well, it was on the 6 or on the 8 before.
You're on the 8.
Yeah. It felt better because it was softer and, you know, it's interesting because
most guys never liked that because it felt too much like a power brake. They couldn't modulate it.
I know, but when the less effort I have to push, the less my mind is thinking about doing that. My throttle isn't that hard.
That's why the 7 is the ideal one, right? It's like the happy medium. The problem when you get the high to the 8 is when you're running, remember things are moving around and the pedal's going to get a little bit longer and more compliant.
That's crazy.
Maybe it's this one.
That's probably like this is honestly what I ride. I don't even ride that one. It's not massively different.
So what? That's the lightest one there?
Yeah, this is the last one.
I have one of those, and it is dope. But it's painted, so I don't even know which one it is.
No. It's very low.
Stop down here at Bell, and I have this helmet, and I believe I have this helmet as one of them, but I would totally rock that helmet or that helmet. But once you go carbon, it's hard to go back. They're just a little bit lighter than the composites. That is awesome. Some amazing work. And then we got just a little normal cab. What is it? I don't even know what it is. What is it?
It's a pre-run.
Well, not, I mean, what was it?
It looks like a mingle.
Got all the rod in. So my buddy was telling me you guys have a new aluminum.
Everybody else has got an aluminum rod in. But
Yes.
we're the first company on the market to make an all aluminum rod in.
All
It's
aluminum.
body, aluminum ball. 7075 T6.
Oh, wow.
Aluminum body and ball.
That is super light.
If you replace the whole car, you're going to save 15 pounds-ish. We're about 30.
15
If
pounds?
you do the whole car in these with aluminum rod, or with aluminum rods.
It's chromo and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. 15 pounds.
So they're about 35% lighter than competition.
35% lighter. That's cool.
Plays Monday.
What are these things?
So that's a new joint we've been working on with Ride Tech, and it's a fully rebuildable joint.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, kind of like the old school like Johnny joints that were rebuildable. So they're all completely rebuildable. More kind of geared towards the off-road guys, some hot rod guys stuff.
I guess I didn't realize you guys made midget parts.
Yep, we do midget and sprint car parts, bird cages, bearings, arms.
Oh, Jesus. I love it.
Fit you?
Just, yeah.
Wow, there's so much going on here at the PRI show. My mate needed his phone charged, so the guys over at Molecule are charging the phone.
Yeah,
and
massive shout out to Molecule.
Yes.
I want them to wash your suits because they let me use their electricity.
Yeah.
Same, I gotta head over.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to film here because there's just so much going on and so many people.
I get a bit of.
What's going on TmezTv now?
All right, I had enough fun at PRI. We've been walked a couple miles, got to see all my people, and I think it's time to go. So, hey, if you clicked on the channel, please go like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching TmezTV. I'm out. I think we need to go up, don't we? Or no?
We came out right.
We went that way. We're not even near.
How cool is that? My boy Hod on the big wall.